The first time I saw the AlienQueen, I thought I was dreaming. Her presence was overwhelming, not in size, though she towered above most of her species, but in the way she commanded the air around her. Colors shifted as she moved, iridescent patterns running across her exoskeleton like living paint. I had crossed galaxies in search of intelligent life, and here she was, standing before me on the crystalline surface of Xylaris 7, her compound eyes reflecting stars I had never seen. I came with a team of explorers, a ragtag crew of scientists, diplomats, and mercenaries. We had spent weeks navigating through the asteroid belts and wormhole currents that made Xylaris 7 nearly inaccessible. Our mission was simple, or so we thought: establish communication, gather knowledge, and report back to the Interstellar Coalition. I had been the lead linguist, trained in proto-alien languages, telepathic resonance, and semiotic analysis. But nothing in my career had prepared me for her. The Queen's chamber was vast, a cathedral of organic architecture. Walls undulated like muscle fibers, pulsating softly in a rhythm that seemed to sync with my heartbeat. As our team stepped forward, she tilted her head. 2 words escaped her, but not in any voice I could hear. They reached me directly, not through sound, but through a mind wave that resonated with the deepest corners of my consciousness. Stay alive. I staggered backward, nearly tripping over my own boots. My colleagues froze, unaware of the communication that had just occurred. The AlienQueen's gaze never wavered, but I felt an invisible tether binding us. Every instinct screamed that I was in danger, yet every fiber of my mind understood the command. Stay alive. The words became the axis on which my world would pivot. At first, I did not understand why she had spoken only to me. I was just one human among dozens. But the urgency in those 2 words clawed at me, leaving me no choice but to obey. The team tried to reason with her. My colleague, Dr. Lena Ruiz, approached cautiously, extending a translator device. "We come in peace," she said, voice steady, but her hands trembling. The Queen's compound eyes narrowed. The words in my mind shifted slightly, like a pulse. Danger imminent. Within seconds, the walls around us began to ripple violently. Xylaris 7's atmosphere was unstable, shifting in unpredictable ways. Gravity spiked and then dropped, sending small objects skittering across the crystalline floor. My team scrambled for stability, but I stayed rooted, absorbing the Queen's warning. That was when I realized the Queen was not hostile. She was protecting us from something else. Something massive emerged from the depths of the cavern. Shadows coalesced into a form that defied physics. Tentacles of dark matter, writhing and stretching, filled the chamber. Our sensors went haywire. The monster, whatever it was, seemed drawn to the energy our team emitted. The AlienQueen stepped forward, and though her size alone was intimidating, what followed was beyond comprehension. A wave of energy, translucent but tangible, surged from her body and collided with the creature. It shrieked in a soundless frequency that made the hair on my arms stand on end. I had no weapon capable of harming that being. Our only hope was to survive. The Queen's eyes flicked toward me again. Lead, survive. My heart pounded. Lead? Me? I had never commanded anything beyond my research team back on Earth. Yet instinctively I nodded. I grabbed the nearest communication console and started relaying coordinates and commands to our crew, coordinating their movements as if I were a general on the battlefield. The creature advanced, each step making the floor shudder. The Queen fought it, but I knew she could not hold it alone. I had to act. It was then that I noticed the crystalline walls were not just decoration. They resonated with energy, humming faintly. If I could redirect the energy, channel it into a focused beam, Maybe we could push the creature back. I barked orders and the team followed, setting up the crystals like conduits. It was dangerous. Miscalculations could fry us alive. But the Queen's presence gave me courage.
Now,
I shouted. The moment we completed the circuit, the chamber lit up. Light pulsed through the crystals, forming a cage around the creature. It thrashed, but the Queen reinforced the barrier with her energy. I felt a connection forming, not just with her, but with the planet itself. Xylaris, 7 seemed to respond to her will, bending reality in subtle ways to protect us. When the creature finally dissipated into nothingness, the chamber was silent. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then the Queen approached me, her movements fluid and deliberate. 2 words again, this time with a softer cadence. Trust me. I understood immediately. Trust her. We had survived because I had listened, because I had believed. But more than that, I realized the Queen had not been warning me out of kindness. She had been testing me, determining if humanity, or at least one human, was capable of understanding the delicate balance of her world. Over the next few days, I learned more than I ever thought possible. The AlienQueen civilization was ancient, predating human records by millions of years. Her people were not conquerors. They were guardians, custodians of planets that held dangerous, untamable energy. Xylaris, 7 itself, was a repository of universal knowledge, a nexus where realities converged. And we, humans, were dangerously naive. The Queen spoke again, though now the words were not just transmitted to my mind, they were shared experiences. I saw her history, the rise and fall of countless worlds, the wars she had endured. I understood her motives. She needed allies who could reason, who could navigate threats without relying solely on brute force. That was why she had chosen me. 2 words had changed everything because they were not just a warning, they were an invitation. Our mission shifted. We were no longer mere explorers or diplomats. We became emissaries, bridging a gap between species that had never before communicated on this level. The Queen taught me to sense the subtle currents of her energy, to anticipate dangers before they manifested. I trained day and night, my mind expanding beyond human limitations. One morning, as the twin suns of Xylaris, 7 rose, the Queen brought me to the edge of the planet's crystalline cliffs. Below us, the energy of the planet shimmered like a living ocean. She spoke again, and this time I could hear her voice in my own ears, though it was still layered with thought waves. The universe tests all who reach it. Few survive the test. Few lead. You have both survived and led. I understood then that leadership was not about power. It was about listening, about interpreting, about acting when the moment demanded. The Queen had not just saved my life. She had taught me the essence of survival in a cosmos filled with entities beyond imagination. Months passed. I documented everything, sending reports to the Interstellar Coalition. But I did not reveal the Queen's full teachings. Some knowledge was too dangerous for unprepared minds. Instead, I became her advocate, a bridge, a living testament to the potential of collaboration between species. The final trial came unexpectedly. A fleet of rogue humans, desperate for resources and unprepared for the complexities of Xylaris, 7, arrived in orbit. They were aggressive, armed with weapons designed for planetary bombardment. I was terrified, yet I remembered the Queen's words. I communicated with her, and she guided me in strategies that blended diplomacy with the subtle manipulation of energy. Through tense negotiations and careful displays of force, we convinced the fleet to withdraw. No blood was spilled. It was the first time in human history that interstellar conflict had been resolved without violence. And it was all because I had listened to two simple words from an alien queen: stay alive. Years later, I returned to Earth, forever changed. Humanity remained largely unaware of the true nature of Xylaris 7, but I carried its lessons in my mind. Leadership, survival, empathy, understanding. The universe was vast, terrifying, beautiful, and full of mysteries that no single species could comprehend alone. And sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I still hear her voice in my mind, softly pulsing through the neurons of memory. Trust, survive. Two words had changed everything. I had survived. I had led. And the universe had opened its eyes to the possibility that humans could do the same. Years later, I returned to Earth, forever changed. Humanity remained largely unaware of the true nature of Xylaris 7, but I carried its lessons in my mind. I had learned that survival was not just about strength, and leadership was not about dominance. It was about understanding, empathy, and acting when it mattered most. Sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I still hear her voice echoing through my thoughts. Trust, survive. Those two words had guided me through impossible odds, had shaped me into a bridge between worlds. I had survived. I had led. And the universe, with all its infinite dangers and wonders, had revealed a truth I would carry for the rest of my life. One person's choices, guided by courage and understanding, could change everything. The Alien Queen's words had been simple, but their power was absolute. And in that realization, I understood that our species' future depended not on weapons, nor on conquest, but on the ability to listen, to learn, and to trust. Two words had changed everything. And the story was only just beginning.